All right, the good is the information I've got for you on when baby girl number 3 is coming into this world, at least what the plans are as of right now. And I'm sharing this with you before I share it with the bosses. You know, they're on a need-to-know basis around here, okay? So they'll know when they need to know. But I wanted to tell you first anyway, because we're buddies. So here's what we know. And by the way, if you think you're going to run to the website and enter the baby bullseye contest for the weekend at the Elms, that's closed. So Mark was all worried and all nervous. People are going to go to the website and sign up and they're going to cheat. No, that contest is closed. What's done is done. But I told you the due date was March 9th, and I did provide you some information, some kernels along the way, saying I would not guess certainly beyond the due date. And I would try to be on the front end of that due date. So I tried to give you some help here along the way to allow you to win that weekend stay at the Elms. But now it's closed. So you can't go and enter the contest now after the fact, all right? But here's what it's looking like. Kate will be induced coming up this weekend. Of course, unless the baby decides to come early, in which case, you know, who knows what's going to happen around here. Mark and John are going to have to carry the show if it happens mid-show. She asked me last week, she's like, what happens if, go into labor during the show? I'm like, well, John and Mark are going to co-host the rest of the way. It's going to be the John and Mark show for a couple hours. Who the hell knows how that's going to go? But, it'll be fun. You guys will have a blast. I know that much.
I'll just follow the rundown, and, John will follow me, I guess. Or John can do it, and I'll follow him either way.
Whatever you guys want to do.
Well, as long as it's a cloudy day, I can yell at a lot of clouds. So, It's a clear day, we might have a problem.
Well, we've gotten through 2 kids without having to worry about anything on the air. Claire came at 6 a.m, but Kate went into labor at 10 o'clock the night before, so I had time to get a fill-in host. And then Chloe, that induction came on a Sunday morning, so there was time to plan. Hopefully this one goes the same way with the inducement plan for this weekend. But, of course, we know what they say about the best laid plans, so we'll wait and see. But either way, if you did enter the contest and you guessed the first couple of days of March, which, by the way, Mark Van Sickle did here on KCMO, then you might be the winner of that overnight stay at the Elms. Now, the bad from the weekend, watching a lot of college basketball this time of year. Football's gone, so it's kind of a depressing time of year from that perspective. But did you see what happened? Court storming continues to be one of the dumbest traditions in all of American sports. I hate everything about court storming, and now it potentially injured one of the best players in the country. This Duke player, Kyle Filipowski, who is going to play in the NBA. He was a big-time recruit. He's, the most recent hated white guy at Duke, I guess you would call him. He's trying to get off the court after they lose to Wake Forest on Saturday. And, these total goobers are just running on the court, and they bang him in the knee accidentally. Now, it was an accident, but still. You got a guy that's got millions of dollars to be made, potentially, in professional sports. And he may have some kind of an injury that prevents him from making that kind of money because a bunch of hooligans run on a basketball court after their team wins. College sports is great. I love college basketball. I love college football, for those of you that know. But the dumbest tradition in American sports is the court storming. It's unsafe. It's nonsensical. It's sophomoric. And it adds to the college experience, I get told all the time. Why? The best college sports environment I've been in my life, and I say this as a guy who had a pretty good college basketball experience going to Villanova, but the best college sports experience I've had in my life is at Allen Fieldhouse. They don't storm courts at Allen Fieldhouse. Don't tell me that you need a court storming to have a good time. It's for a bunch of goobers who want to go to the center of the court, take out their phones, film it on Snapchat, and then share it with their friends. That's the only thing it's good for.
Do you like what K-State did when they beat KU a few weeks ago and have the players go into the stands with the fans?
That's fine. If you want to risk your players going into a swarm of fans who have lost their minds, be my guest. Something else I've heard suggested over the last couple of days is, how about this? How about there's a countdown clock? Use the shot clock. 30-second shot clock, count it down, let the players get off the court safely, and then if you want to run on the court like a total goofball and, jump up and down, I guess go ahead, be my guest. But by the way, the great programs don't rush the court. They don't. I see Iowa State fans rush the court all the time. I'm like, but then they're also pissed off they're not considered a blue blood in college basketball. You can't rush the court and then be like, we deserve respect. If you're rushing the court, you don't respect your program because you're shocked that they just won a game. So I hate court storming. I always have. I always will. And if I have one crusade left in me that is apolitical, it will be court storming. The ugly from the weekend was a mass shooting that took place in Kansas City. You didn't hear about this one, like the Super Bowl? Oh, you missed. Oh, this one you didn't hear as much about? That's because it was at 2:30 in the morning on Sunday at the 4700 block of Independence Avenue near a Kansas City fire station and an O'Reilly Auto Parts. 4 people shot, 1 killed after a dispute between several people overnight. And what are we going to hear about? Once again, another dispute in Kansas City leads to gunfire. If only the gun laws were different. I'm pretty sure if disputes are happening at 2:30 in the morning on street corners, you got bigger problems. You got a lot of things you're going to point to and can point to outside of the weapon of choice. And that's something I'd like to see discussed a little bit more. But this, air quotes, mass shooting is not going to get nearly the amount of attention of Union Station for obvious reasons. And around we go during these violent times in Kansas City. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly from the weekend.